to Sorare Sunday for the week of the 2nd of June to the 8th of June. Let's have a look at what happened this week. Okay, so going back to last weekend, we'll just have a look at what rewards we got. We got 12 Essence, 4 Rare, and 8 Limited. We didn't have a lot of teams, so easy to quickly go through this one. We were well off with our MLS Classic Rare team, but with our Limited, we managed to get 5 Essence with this team. Kai Wagner getting 100 again. Everyone else doing okay, but nothing too fantastic at the moment. And then 3 Essence from this team, which didn't do too shabby, actually. So we didn't do too badly with MLS. We have been struggling recently with it to get anything, but we got, 5 and 3? That's what... 9? Is that, no. 8? There you go. That's 8 Essence just from the MLS alone. So that's pretty decent. And then in Contender, we got 4 Rare Essence for this team. It's really annoying because if our keeper hadn't done as badly in this game, I reckon we would have probably been up for some money. But getting 2 goals, one from Sasaki, I think it is, and then from Song Min Kyu. A goal from both of them, giving us some pretty good score there. But then everything else was just not to be. Our special teams did nothing and were not very good. So it was a bit of a with the closing of all the seasons, it's going to be like this for the next couple of months. That we've got a lot of not a lot of competitions. We're only going to be able to put together 3 or 4 teams a week. So we're going to have less rewards, just the natural way of things at the moment. In the midweek, we didn't get anything because we were only able to put 2 teams together, and we were short from the rewards by the same amount. And it's really annoying because we actually didn't put together a bad team. Like I put together an entire Australia stack, which ended up beating Japan, which I think means they're basically in the World Cup now. Some players who usually do play quite well, like Martin Boyle, didn't play that great, so that was a kind of a disappointment in terms of score wise. Cameron Bird just getting a man of the match though, played really well. Matthew Ryan getting a clean sheet, pretty decent. My keeper Coronel, I thought he was a starter for Paraguay, but it seems like he's not. I think they switched between him and this like 37-year-old keeper, so he didn't play, and if he had, I think we probably would have got a reward there as well. So that's how this week has went. Like I said, super quick. Not a lot happened. We do have more teams for we've got 5 teams for the weekend, and then midweek we've got 2 teams. So it's actually round about the same as what we had before. So hopefully we'll be able to get something from these. We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? But yeah, that's how we went this week. Let's now go on to the player to watch. Okay, so my player to watch is a J-League player called Yuki Yamamoto. He plays for Frontale even. He just seems like a fairly decent... I've had a quite old card of his for a while. I think I picked him up fairly early on when I started playing Sorare. And he gets goals and assists fairly regularly. He's a starter most games. I think with J League they have some fixture congestion, so you occasionally do find players a drop throughout the season just for resting them. But yeah, he usually gets really good scores, and he is overall. If you wanted an in-season for this season, you can pick him up for around £6, which is a little bit more than I usually say. But if you go down to just if you wanted to play him as a classic card, you can pick him up for £1. So he's pretty cheap, to be honest. So yeah, that is my player to watch. I think he's just a very decent J League player, which you can pick up. He's a midfielder. He's 27. He's probably got like a fair few because Japanese players tend to play quite late on. They don't retire that early, like in their 30s or anything usually. I think one of the oldest players playing professional football is in Japan. He's like 50. So like they keep going. They're a healthy bunch over there in Japan. But yeah, I think he's probably got one for longevity. Like he'll be a card that you can play for multiple seasons, and also he plays well within this season as well. So you could put him into the contender competitions already and use him as a card to get like a fairly decent score at the moment. I mean, he does have the odd off game, but like it's hard to find players who don't have the odd off game, especially for the price point. So yeah, he's my suggestion for the player to watch. Let's go to what's in the box.
What's in the box?
And it's gonna be, I think, the first time in a very long time we don't have any boxes and we don't have any essence. So the what's in the box is gonna be nothing basically. There's nothing in the box. I was hopeful that we were gonna win those boxes in the midweek all-star competition, but it just didn't happen. So we are 3 short to do a T5 pull. Hopefully this weekend we'll get that essence, so next week we'll be able to do a T5 essence pull at least. Rare essence, I mean, it's gonna take a little while to build that back up. We're not gonna be there just yet. So we're gonna make our way. I think it will probably take another month or so, as long as we can keep getting that kind of regular rare essence through our contender or MLS teams. We do have another rare team for challenger as well, but obviously we've got to wait for the Belgian league to start again, and for contender with the Hibs team. So next season it's probably more likely to be boxes or cards, because I'll have to play them as classics, and I don't think I'll be able to afford to do a rare team within seasons, because rare in season cards are too expensive for me. I tend to trade my way up. I've done a few trades recently. I've also had a little bit of extra cash, so I popped a couple of rare cards for a couple of quid in J League just to give me some. I've got a few midfielders and forward for around about £5-6, and they're just kind of like, if someone's not playing or someone's got like a low likelihood of playing, hopefully we'll have cover with one of these. I also traded for Jean Kevin Duverne. I'm going to say Duverne, who is a very good defender. Look at those scores he got recently. I mean, he then didn't play for a while and stuff. But actually, it looks like due to transfer. If I have a look at that. Yeah, he was with FC Nantes, and then he was transferred to KV Kortrijk, and he has played for them regularly since signing for them only in February. And look at the scores that he's been getting there. But the reason I picked him up is he plays for Haiti. I also have a couple of other players who play for Haiti, including Fafa Piccole, I'm going to say, who he plays in MLS as well. And he is actually a forward, but the card I accidentally picked up because it was cheaper for a trade was a midfield card, which kind of annoyed me because I was trying to do a forward for this weekend, but I managed to pick up Niall Omerovic, I believe is how you say it. So many names that I can't pronounce here. Who is Bosnia and Herzegovina striker who does play for his national team. He also plays in the Croatian league, so he is a player which I've got in playing as well. Hopefully he will be brought on. He seems like he's an impact sub for his nation, but I've got him just in case. He's young as well. He's only 21, so he's one for the future as well. But in terms of that, I don't think I did many other trades in terms of limited. I traded Julio Encio. You know, the guy who plays for Brighton and got loaned to Ipswich. I picked up the Ipswich card because I'm trying to get a full Ipswich collection at some point. So, and he also plays for Paraguay. Yeah, Paraguay, and he scored as well against Uruguay. So, he's one of them players which I've picked up just in case for like internationals. I spent like a couple of pence on a few Australian midfielders, and I traded, as you saw, I had Matthew Ryan. I traded a few cards for him. It was quite a tricky card to get hold of. I'm not going to lie. A lot of people didn't want; they only wanted money, but I managed to trade my way for him. I also brought in Tanaka for next season. He plays for Leeds, so we'll be in the Premier League. And then I also brought in this Australian midfielder as well for under £1. So not too bad. And then I also traded for Hannes Wolf, a Austrian, yeah, Austrian forward in the MLS who scores. Like he scores fairly regularly. Not like he's not like one of those cards which is worth like 100 quid or so. He's only worth like 3 or so quid, but he does score, and he plays regularly. So I picked him up to play in my limited lineups for MLS. So that's kind of where my trades and that are. We're just gonna pop over to NBA and see how that's going. Okay, so with NBA, we actually have managed to put together a limited um, playoff team, which is the weekly competition. The dailies, I was going to put together a limited championship chase, but you'll notice that the rules say that you have to have 4 in-season players, whereas I only had out of season. I traded my way to get some of the good cards. Man, there we go. Traded my way to get some of the Indiana and Thunder, Oklahoma cards, and I had only managed to get some. I actually really like these year one edition cards anyway, so I wanted to pick up some of these. But I was only able to pick up a few which were in season. I mean, top in is, and I've got Jalen Williams and Kenrick Williams as well. But these ones obviously wouldn't count towards that in season. But with the classic limited weekly, you can use out of season cards. So I've got Halliburton, Jalen Williams, Sakayam, and Naismith. So I didn't put Toppin in, and I kind of wish I had because he played quite well. He got 17 points for the first game of the player finals. So he's definitely a player which I can't remember who did I put in. So I put Jalen Williams instead, so that I could, because of the costs, I couldn't have Naismith if I hadn't put if I had Obi Toppin in. But now looking at it, it would have made more sense to put Toppin in because Naismith got worse of a score. But there's 3 more games to play. Hopefully Williams will play, and Naismith will get some better scores. You know, there's a lot that can happen in that time. But yeah, we're only 23 points away from getting something. So here's hoping we'll get at least something. I mean, 1 essence is the something, so it's not fantastic. But we did get a weekly, which means we've got 35 limited, but it's still a little bit short because it's obviously for NBA the cap is 50 rather than 20. So we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. No essence pulls this week. It's been a bit of a disappointing week. I'm not gonna lie regarding that. But yeah, in terms of NBA, I'm just kind of letting it play out now. So I'm gonna make my daily common lineups. I'm gonna let the weekly one tick over and see if I get anything from that. And then we just have to wait until next season, really. In terms of trades, I think I've done basically everything I can with the cards I've got. I don't really have much left. I'm happy with the cards I've got. I've got a nice ace card, Jamaron. I picked him up for 27 quid, and now they're selling for like a lot more. The ace ones, they're selling for like 60, 70 quid. So I'm just going to keep hold of him because I think they look awesome as well. I've got a few really good scoring limited cards which I can use next season in the classic sort of leagues to kind of maybe win some more boxes or like extra cards. You know, I've got LeBron, I've got Butler, I've got Jalen Williams, Halliburton, Sakayam. They're all good players. Jay Moron is a good player as well. So, sorry, I know I'm pronouncing some of these names a little bit weirdly. I'm British. I don't hear them regularly, so that's just I'm trying my best. And then in the rares, I've mainly got Raptors cards. I've got 4 Raptors cards in the rares. I think when I get a little bit extra money closer to next season, I might buy one of the, like, maybe try and get a full stack. But I know that within, when you play the competitions, you can only play 4 players within one team. So I've got 4 players which I can play. Depending what happens, trades and things like that coming up to the new season, that might change as well. So NBA is kind of up in the air at the moment, just letting the playoffs play out. I For who I think will win the playoffs, I think it's gonna be Indiana. I just think Halliburton showed up and he's kind of pushing the team forward, but also he's not the only like top talent. Whereas I feel like Shy is pushing the team forward. And I don't know though, actually, because there's some good players in there. Looking at it, Jalen Williams or Dort is doing pretty well. Like Caruso. So like actually maybe the Thunders could win it over. Like the first game was really close. That like zero point 0.3 by Halliburton to win it was insane. So yeah, I think my opinion is it's probably going to be Indiana to win it. But either way, like both teams have played one hell of a season and they both kind of deserve it, which is kind of the harsh thing about the final, isn't it? But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what happens with the next few games because the first one was insane. Already an amazing start. So let's wait and see. But thank you for watching. Come back next week to see more about, and we'll be able to do more essence pulls next week. So there'll be a little bit more in it. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you when I see you.